Jim Gordon never gave up on anything. That's why Gotham City is still here. It's why I'm still here. And I've known for a while now that someday, like him, I'd have to work with you. I've seen plenty of criminals in my career, but nothing could have prepared me for this.
Well, well, if it isn't Brat Girl.
Gotham City is at her weakest. There's blood in the water, and the sharks are circling. They're all making their move.
Play nice.
But we aren't going to give up.
A storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it. See you at the premiere.
I need your help. Your skills. Your knowledge. Your adaptability. You got my back?
Oh, boys!
This biopic is based on a true story. My story. Soon, the world will feel the cold as I do.
I got one last little surprise for you.
Come to watch the show, Red Hood.
Nah, I'm just here to kick your ass.
E aí, gostou do vídeo? Então se inscreva no Warner Play clicando aqui e a gente deixou outras 2 sugestões de vídeo pra você.
If there's one thing I've learned about Gotham City, it's that people need symbols. Something to believe in.
What was that?
Protecting people runs in my veins. No matter what alias I go by, that's who I am. That's who I'll always be. Gotham has called, and I have answered.
E aí, gostou do vídeo? Então se inscreva no Warner Play clicando aqui e a gente deixou outras 2 sugestões de vídeo pra você.
Gotham City é cheia de mistérios. É difícil imaginar um Robin sem um Batman. Mas acho que cabe a mim dar um jeito nisso. Você consegue, Robin. Usando o teletransporte do satélite da Liga da Justiça, eu aposto que posso me transportar por distâncias curtas. Bruce sempre me disse para acreditar em mim mesmo. Que eu era capaz. Hora de provar isso. É assim. É assim que o Robin vence.
E aí, gostou do vídeo? Então se inscreva no Warner Play clicando aqui e a gente deixou outras 2 sugestões de vídeo pra você.
Hi, I'm Jeff Eleanor, game director at Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and today I'm really excited to share with you gameplay footage featuring Nightwing and Red Hood from our upcoming game, Gotham Knights.
Hurry it up, will ya?
We're joining Nightwing, also known as Dick Grayson, midway through the game story as he patrols our city. All of the Knights can unlock heroic ways of getting around the city. For Nightwing, it's his glider, the Flying Trapeze. The Regulators gang are engaged in a hacking crime, so it's time to bring some vigilante justice to the bad people. Each crime in Gotham Knights plays like a mini game mode with rules and optional objectives. Nightwing's fighting style is acrobatic. He ping-pongs around the battlefield. While you can play the whole game solo, you can also protect Gotham in co-op with a friend. Here's Red Hood. Red Hood gained new abilities after being resurrected by an assassin cult. Here, he uses Mystical Leap to move across the rooftop, springboarded by his own soul energy. Successful attacks and dodges build up my momentum bar below, and timing my strikes and combos correctly makes it build faster. Once the bar is full, heroes can unleash powerful abilities. Red Hood's ranged attacks are a little louder. He fires non-lethal rounds that still do a lot of damage. Here's Red Hood's barrage ability, which deals piercing damage to interrupt armored attacks. The UI you're seeing can be customized to your preferences. What's on screen is what I like, but you can set it the way you like.
Holy perfect attack, Nightwing!
Now that we've prevented the Regulators from stealing data, let's follow Red Hood for a bit. The Bat-Cycle is usable by all heroes in Gotham Knights. Let's watch Red Hood chase down a smuggling van in Southside neighborhood.
Great. More shitheads to beat up.
Show him what we're made of. Don't let him hit your face. Time to burn, hero.
Red Hood can unlock the ability to attach a bomb to thrown opponents, so he can detonate it with a shot later. It's a pretty good time.
Love it.
Red Hood.
Get my face.
Now we're back at the Belfry, the hero's home base. This next sequence is from early in the game, as we're just discovering the Court of Owls. The Bat Computer runs the map of the city and lets us pursue challenges and advance the story. Nightwing is tracking his next story mission, investigating the Old Powers Club. The workbench is where we go to upgrade our equipment, making sure that we're ready for each new challenge through the game. Players find blueprints and crafting materials by taking on missions and fighting crime. Each blueprint has different stats, giving the player a wide range of cool choices for their individual strategy and style. Gear with mod slots is better because mod chips power up gameplay properties. At this point in the story, our characters are still processing the loss of Batman.
You could visit him.
I could what?
He went to yours when... You could visit his grave.
You haven't.
I'm not the one staring at the... You know.
Sometimes you're an idiot, Grayson.
Players can unlock fast travel to get around the city in a hurry with the Fast Bat.
Belfry, got anything court-related?
The Court of Owls. A secret society as old as Gotham itself. Run the city behind closed doors. According to the old poem, anyway.
Okay, but how does that line up with what Penguin said?
If this all-powerful court really is out there, they might be the ones getting all those creeps out of Blackgate. Which means they've been getting away with murder for centuries.
I hear you. Fingers crossed we'll learn more at the Powers Club.
It's time for Nightwing to sneak into court territory. Stealth is always an advantage.
I'm in.
Be careful. Let us know if you find anything.
They have a few guards.
Long lunch too, huh?
I'm not complaining. Nice to get a break once in a while.
So what do you think the poor bastard did?
What poor bastard? As far as I know, I just got a longer break.
Poor bastard. Wonder what that means.
Every hero has unique takedowns and finishing moves. Ambush strikes are faster than silent takedowns, but make more noise.
Now I can rummage in peace.
Augmented reality vision helps the heroes solve puzzles and investigate mysteries.
AR shows a trail of blood. I wonder what else it can see. There's something under the floor. The hatch is connected to some kind of network. There's gotta be a way to open it.
Here we see Nightwing's elemental shockwave ability. It interrupts enemy armored attacks and deals elemental status effects.
Try this.
Cryo status freezes an enemy, taking them out of the fight for a while.
God damn.
And done. A hidden staircase. That can't be good.
Shit, what's he doing here?
I got something for you. Heads up.
You don't need to tell me.
For anybody wondering how this fight looks with Red Hood, check this out.
Kill the intruders first. Then you can think about the rewards.
How's about this?
Red Hood takes on a Talon Gladiator here, one of the Court of Owls' engineered superhuman assassins.
Oh yeah, here we go.
This fight is not over.
How's about this?
Wherever this belongs to must be in bad shape. Better hurry. That must be whoever they kidnapped.
Wait up! Look at me! I made a mistake! It won't happen again! Please!
E aí, gostou do vídeo? Então se inscreva no Warner Play clicando aqui e a gente deixou outras 2 sugestões de vídeo pra você.
One of the joys of writing comics is the hope that someone will take that story and make it something their own. And I think the folks at Warner Brothers have done a tremendous job translating and evolving the Court of Owls into the game.
The fans, they cosplay as these characters, they're hungry for more.
And so here you are getting to play out that conflict in a game itself.
I remember taking this walk around New York City, my old neighborhood. Nothing I knew was there anymore. All of the people I had known had moved away. All of the stores were gone. The feeling was so unsettling, and I wanted to craft a story that would make Bruce Wayne feel the way I felt.
The first time I read that story, I was just blown away because they were creating this really rich secret history of Gotham City, very plausible, believable, that was in direct opposition to Batman.
I think probably inspiration for the Court of Owls originates from nature, just by the real fact that the owl is a natural predator to the bat.
What an owl does a lot of the time is it hunts you and it stalks you without you seeing it, and the fun of the way that the court goes after Bruce is to watch him from afar for years.
Because it's been something that's been in Gotham for so long and been so powerful, and right beneath Batman's nose, I think that's the root of the success there.
One of the biggest challenges with bringing the Court of Owls from comic books to video games is really the interactive nature of what video games are.
How do you take that history, how do you take this cool imagery and bring it to life in a game that's very satisfying?
We could look at the source material, we could talk to the creators, and we could ask their opinions about that. We could say, which of these elements do you think we can translate?
When I went out there to see what they were doing with the game, I was blown away. I mean, it took what we had done with Court of Owls, but it just elevated it beyond a lot of the borders that we had had.
You can't really rely on what you think you know about the court. We have expanded, we have added to it.
There are different varieties of Talons in Gotham Knights. And as the players begin to understand through gameplay the unique strengths and vulnerabilities of the Talon, it will affect how they equip themselves and how they unlock new abilities. So like any good RPG, we're presenting you with a problem, and then we're presenting you with a range of potential solutions, and players will have an opportunity to kind of maximize that according to their own style.
The entire team has worked so hard on this and put so much love and dedication into this, and I really hope it comes through and it gives them a really enjoyable experience.
I can't wait for us to share more information about this game.
But watch out for those deadly talons, because they are sharp. Be careful.
Batman, Jim Gordon achavam que tinham a cidade sob controle. Nunca tiveram. Já você não tem nem chance. Porque eles estão sempre à espreita, sempre a escuta, manipulando cada um de nós. Eu, você. Mas ninguém fala deles. Nem sequer um sussurro ou menção.
A Corte das Corujas é um mito.
Eles estão ouvindo.
Se quiser mesmo se meter com essa conspiração, é melhor saber que depois disso não tem mais volta.
Recebemos notícias de última hora a respeito de uma explosão no lado norte da cidade.
Ainda estamos aguardando a polícia confirmar se houve vítimas. A cada instante chegam novas informações. Fiquem ligados.
Ouvimos um estrondo muito forte. Tinha fumaça para todo lado.
Os bombeiros confirmaram agora que encontraram um corpo em meio aos escombros. Continuamos aguardando mais detalhes.
Mas ao que parece, uma grande parte do edifício acabou desmoronando.
Notícias internacionais. Uma explosão atingiu Gotham City hoje cedo.
Tivemos agora a confirmação que o bilionário filantropo Bruce Wayne está...
Se você está vendo isso, eu morri.
Esse é um código preto.
Essa mensagem foi ativada automaticamente quando destruí a Batcaverna com tudo dentro. Não vai demorar até os criminosos de Gotham perceberem que o Batman está morto. E não contem com o DPGC. Não confiam em nós desde que o dia morreu. Gotham precisa dos seus guardiões mais do que nunca. Deixo o campanário como base de operações. Parte da tecnologia está ultrapassada, mas lá tem os equipamentos que precisam em meus arquivos. Vocês sempre me apoiaram quando precisei. Sei que vou manter Gotham segura. Boa sorte. E adeus.
Da corte ninguém fala. Deles não há sequer menção. E quem tenta derrotá-la, o garra, mata sem hesitação.
Poucas pessoas podem se comparar a Bárbara Gordon em termos de força de vontade e determinação. Bárbara sempre foi uma pessoa de ação e em sua mente, recuar nunca é uma opção. E ter um dos comissários de polícia mais conhecidos de Gotham City como o pai teve um impacto enorme sobre ela. Jean Gordon deu sua vida por Gotham e agora ela quer ter certeza que não foi em vão. Depois de um confronto que
Não tinha nada. Então essa cidade virou o meu lar. Seu povo virou minha família. Gotham me deu tudo. Também merece estar em segurança. Por mais que nos esforcemos, sempre há mais que... E agora... é comigo.
Quer dançar, asa noturna?
Deixa comigo, Bruce.
E aí, gostou do vídeo? Então se inscreva no Warner Play clicando aqui e a gente deixou outras 2 sugestões de vídeo pra você.
Morrer e ser trazido de volta à vida me mudou. Há alguns dias eu mal me sinto humano. Muito menos como um homem louco. Mas Gotham City precisa de mim.
Falta pouco!
Foi pra isso que treinei. Bruce me deu um propósito. E eu vou fazer de tudo pra cumpri-lo.
E aí,
Agora depois vocês verem o trailer, eu vou mostrar umas gameplay aqui. Com propaganda no meio.
Agora depois vocês verem o trailer, eu vou mostrar umas gameplay aqui. Com propaganda no meio. Quando depois vocês verem o trailer, eu vou mostrar umas gameplay aqui.
Esperando o Gotham Knight pro PC e pro PlayStation 5. Aqueles trailers foi tudo trailers velhos. Agora é um trailer atual desses últimos dias de agosto. Alô? Olha os golpes da Asa Noturna. Essa vai para jogar com qualquer um do Gotham Knights. Stunou os caras.
Eu lembrei, não, sobrou mais um pouco, acho que umas 5 bananas ainda. Era bastante, né? Leva pra você. Não, mas aquele docinho que a senhora sempre faz da banana, que eu sempre vejo ali, é dessa banana ou da outra?
Não, é da outra. Mas
Ah,
eu vou fazer
dá pra fazer
mas
também?
leva pra você, essa banana é tão gostosa, já vou tentar você levar a metade do caixa, já precisa.
Segundo round.
Não, só que sabe, né? Tá bom.
O dedo ventinho da asa noturna, que muita gente não gosta dos poderes dele. É meio estranho mesmo. Quando chegar o jogo vai ter muito gameplay desse jogo do PC e do PlayStation. E de mod também se der. Acaba com carinha. Isso não foi a GN que jogou, foi o próprio Warner Play que jogou. Esse é o jogo que eu mais fiz live, porque o Arkham Knight é o que eu mais esperei, mas eu fiz menos live. Agora como é que vai ser a cidade? Não estou legenda.
city in real life, it's hard to tell some of that history. So because we're making a game, really what we want to do is kind of obviously reveal some of that stuff. So there's a lot of areas that are stuck in time.
Operation, it was low-cost housing, it remained like actually a slum.
The Cauldron's history is written into its walls, with tumble-down buildings and cramped, unplanned streets, all set in the shadow of the more prosperous districts around it. But all of this is a distinct gameplay choice too.
This spot is kind of like a transition area between the financial district and the south side. So we have like two very different themes while being in a third theme that is very organic, has a complete different way for the player to navigate over. It's a lot more parkouring. So the player always has the choice to pick the best tool and the best navigation verb to be as efficient as possible. And with different neighborhoods that will give you different experiences.
This interplay of history and gameplay can be seen across the city. The once beautiful Robinson Park is a symbol of the city's decay, but it's also an open space where your usual stealth tactics may no longer work in the same way. The enormous Elliott Center is a literally gilded reminder of the family patriarch, complete with a museum exhibit about the family inside. And it's also a complex, multi-layered bit of vertical level design built to house the Mr. Freeze boss battle later in the game. And it's not just that timeline that acts as history here either. While this is a new take on Gotham, it includes many references to the comic books it's drawing from. Of course, there are buildings you'll know, right down to deep-cut references like Noonan's sleazy bar from Garth Ennis's Hitman series, but the very fabric of Gotham itself acts as an Easter egg in places. Perhaps most interesting is that this Gotham has a public history and a secret history. We already know the game will centre on the Court of Owls, a shadowy, manipulative group born of the founding families. Gotham itself will reflect that conspiratorial past too.
One of the things that we love about the Court of Owls, aside from the fact that that it's a new, fresh addition to the Batman canon, is that they represent a threat that is so embedded and so intrinsic to Gotham City that even Batman doesn't know about it. And the notion of a threat that is so intimately tied to a city that he considers to be his city, that he knows like the back of his hand, that he's been patrolling for literally decades at this point. That's a very intimidating and scary idea. With that in mind, what we knew is that we needed to give you a sense of Gotham's history in order to be able to show all the ways in which the court is embedded in that. That feeling that Gotham is kind of an adversary and that Court of Owls is the embodiment of that, the personification of it.
The phrase commonly used at the studio for this is that they didn't just build up, creating those hugely visible landmark buildings and stories for every new district, but that they also built down.
We started to imagine how the form of the city could be affected by that, and it started kind of help suggest a geography, an urban geography to the city, going all the way back to like the late 1600s. And then we started to think, okay, well, what were the major events in history that they would have reacted to? Is it the Revolutionary War? Is it the kind of exploitation of the West, like the building of the railroads? Like all of these ideas became part of that conversation and allowed us to kind of build layers of accreted history. And we built it up and we built it down. Like we said, okay, what's buried under the city? Like, what are the hidden secrets that you can find in the course of investigating the Court of Owls?
Naturally, the team isn't talking too much about what those buried secrets might be, but we see hints of it as we're shown Gotham's open world. A seemingly nondescript building might be a gang hideout, which leads to a tunnel system that brings you into an exit into Gotham that you would never have guessed at, for example.
We want the Court of Owls to feel like they're involved in everything. If you were to go to a major city in North America, like often they'll build a city on top of another one. Like Chicago, like they had the fire, they just built on top of it because it's not worth like rebuilding, destroying and rebuilding. So what the undergrounds allow us to do is kind of reveal that cross section of the city. So we have areas like that where you drop in, you keep going and you see things that you didn't know were there, that you didn't know the city was built on top of. And I think that's a really cool element. We try to allow the player to see kind of behind the scenes of the city, go under the surface, and as well as seeing it from up high from the bigger landmarks.
The result of all this work is that this take on Gotham aims to feel like a legitimate place, not just a sandbox for spandex crime fighting. We've heard before that this will be the largest Gotham ever made in game form, but that's not what the developers are proud of.
We made a very big Gotham City, but what I think is really unique to Gotham Knights is the density of it. Sometimes I will be searching for something or fighting a crime and not realize how close to me something else is happening that I'm going to want to interact with afterwards or before. There's just such a depth of nooks and crannies to explore inside our city, and I think that that's really unique to Gotham Knights.
The idea of a Gotham packed with references, miniature histories, and sinister mysteries is alluring. After all, this is the promise of a town with real backstory, that it's not just the people living there who'll help tell the story, but the city itself. Gotham has been many things to many people. It's appeared in comics, movies, and gaming worlds. It's been reinvented repeatedly, travelling through time with us from block colour 40s issues of Detective Comics to the grey monoliths of Christopher Nolan's trilogy. But all of those versions of Gotham have been snapshots of a city in its current form. Perhaps the most interesting thing about Gotham Knights' version is that we won't just see the city as it is, but hopefully learn what it's been. We'll be covering Gotham Knights and offering exclusive footage all this month as part of IGN First. And if
Coroa, pega esse galo aí pra nós.
IGN First for August is Gotham.
Eu não acho que você precisa, numa agenda de inovação, jogar o passado fora.
Is Gotham Knights, and we're kicking it off with the first minutes of gameplay. This section follows the prologue, which WB Montreal is still keeping secret, and will be the first time you take control of a character. After picking which knight you want to play as, this section serves to tutorialise some of the game's basic traversal and combat mechanics, as well as introduce you to the wider mystery taking place in Gotham following the death of Batman. Enjoy!
You want to break into the GCPD headquarters for a what-if? Be my guest.
I decrypted the case Batman sent with his message. We should focus on that.
I looked it over, but did I get everything? It doesn't look complete. He says this has implications that could shake Gotham to its core.
Ominous, but not exactly helpful. I saw a few places we should poke around. Construction sites, a quarry.
He also mentioned a Dr. Langstrom. Anyone know him?
He's a zoologist at Gotham University. Not sure what his connection is, though.
Let's divide up the work. We can meet at the Belfry when we're done. Get it up and running.
Who gets to talk to Langstrom?
Arrived at Gotham U. What do we know so far about this professor?
Kirk Langstrom. Judging by the half-finished file with the code black, Batman was digging into him hardcore.
Then I'll pick up where Batman left off.
We got a positive ID on this faculty dude, Kirk Langstrom.
Right. I'll call it in on the way to the morgue.
Damn it. Langstrom's dead. Do we know where his office is?
Seriously? Crap. Well, our notes had his office on the 3rd floor of Molson Hall.
Got it. Third floor balcony's open. Don't mind if I do. Body cam recording. Here's his office. Hardly any police work here. Langstrom must have been killed somewhere else. Those marks look fresh.
You find anything, Batgirl? So far, nothing here.
Our professor is very dead. I'll let you know when I find the crime scene.
Good. Well, not good exactly, but at least a lead.
The real challenge will be getting out of here without the cops finding me.
Good luck.
That's a lot of damage.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6th sense for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. Boom. Major look, huh? Yeah, this one is for the books. All these chances I took still. I move straight on these rooks now. Hold me up or hold me down, have my back or hold my crown. Either you with me or not, but you better give all you got, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power.
This must be where Langstrom died. The cops cleared out of here way too fast. Langstrom must have been working when he was attacked. Significant blood loss here. Evidence of a struggle, then the attacker pinned him to the wall. They were merciless. Langstrom was dying, but he tried to get to that cabinet instead of the door. What was so important? A hidden door. What secrets were you keeping, Dr. Langstrom? A thermostat would be a clever place to hide a keypad. A microwave. I hope Langstrom wasn't combining burritos with genetic specimens. Langstrom made sure to remember those dates. I should too. A phone number, but that's not a Gotham area code. Could be useful. Perfect. Time to see what Langstrom was so desperate to hide. Langstrom, what on earth were you up to? Batman's dead professor had some serious skeletons in his closet. Langstrom's workstation. I should take a closer look. Well, hello there. A hard drive. I need to get this back to Belfry. Then I can figure out your secrets, Langstrom. Hey, on my way back. The cops overlooked a ton of evidence. Weird marks on the walls, and apparently Langstrom had a secret lab. Hopefully this hard drive I found will have more answers.
Great! Can't wait to get my hands on it.
Great!
Chegaram as vitaminas Benegripe Imuno. Imuno Complex é mais imunidade todos os dias. Imuno Energy ajuda a recuperar da gripe. Tudo pra você ficar juntinho. Benegripe Imuno. Imunidade e energia pra te ver bem.
Outro dia, me perguntaram se eu tenho orgulho da minha beleza. Na verdade, eu tenho orgulho das nossas belezas. Da beleza do nosso pôr do sol, das nossas paisagens, dos nossos campos e de nossas cidades. Eu sinto orgulho demais da conta, da beleza e do jeito de ser da nossa gente. E quando a beleza aqui do Centro-Oeste se encontra com a marca de beleza mais amada do país, nasce um sentimento único de amor pelo coração do Brasil. Um amor que é do Boticário e meu também.
he doing here?
With Batman missing, gangs had become more aggressive. It was only a matter of time before the freaks showed up.
Gotham needs to see that someone still cares. I'll take care of this.
I can't focus on torching this place with all that racket! Turn off the damn fire alarm up there! What?
I need to handle these guys before this gets any worse.
Fire alarm! Die! Die! Die!
You deserve a break. Quietly.
The average temperature of something lights on fire is between 424 and 475 Fahrenheit.
Hey, look up here! I'm a professor of setting stuff on fire!
I can probably stay out of sight here.
Are the fumes getting to you, buddy?
Smashy, smashy, smash, smash! Smashy!
Sweet dreams.
You burn now, grass. No one will mow you ever again. Oh.
What are they even doing here?
Enjoying the fireworks. Burn, you boat!
Now that's
Can anyone hear me? Help! They won't let us go!
You knew how this was gonna end.
You're rude, baddie. Slow it down. Freaks, you gotta give more than this. Get it together, freaks. Come at me. I ain't scared.
Technology has changed over the decades, and that's made music and audio more accessible than ever.
You'll break too.
Get to safety. Go!
You're gonna lose those pretty teeth.
Firefighters and paramedics are on the way. Are you hurt?
I'm good. Looking forward to kicking back and decrypting this hard drive. Be there soon.
Jim Gordon never gave up on anything. That's why Gotham City is still here. It's why I'm still here. And I've known for a while now that someday, like him, I'd have to work with you. I've seen plenty of criminals in my career, but nothing could have prepared me for this.
Well, well, if it isn't Brat Girl.
Gotham City is at her weakest. There's blood in the water, and the sharks are circling. They're all making their move.
Play nice.
But we aren't going to give up.
A storm has risen over Gotham. Nothing can stop it. See you at the premiere.
I need your help. Your skills. Your knowledge. Your adaptability. You got my back?
Oh, boys!
This biopic is based on a true story. My story. Soon, the world will feel the cold as I do.
I got one last little surprise for you.
Come to watch the show, Red Hood.
Nah, I'm just here to kick your ass.
E aí, gostou do
There is no Gotham Knights without Batman family.
The fans trust us to be true to the universe. They also want to be surprised.
Really, everything is new.
Batman family means different things to different people. We have chosen to explore the theme of found family within the context of Batman family.
There's been a big fracture in the Batman family. They're at odds at each other, they're fighting, they're not a cohesive group. They've never had the chance to work together because they've all been working fairly independent with the exception of Robin. As you progress through the entire game, you're gonna see this gradually change.
Move. I'm gonna solve this case my way.
I think each knight embodies some of those traits just at different times. Nightwing can have the attitude sometimes, maybe Batgirl the other times, and even the tough guy, Red Hood. You know, he can be the more passionate one at times. But the one thing they all share is that drive to become the next knight.
They don't start in perfect harmony, they don't start with perfect balance because they're dealing with a lot of trauma and a big loss.
Stop it! You wanted us to work this together.
But throughout the game, they come together, and that's for a very simple reason. They've chosen to care for each other, and they've chosen each other as a family.
Now you're talking.
We have character arcs for each of our knights with key cinematics that unlock from start to end of the game. Through these arcs, we explore different things with each of our knights. One thing we delve into is how trauma can affect memory, how grief can linger, and isn't just resolved in a single moment, or even might not be about just a single loss.
When the fans found out that Batman was dead in our game, some of them were expecting to see him. Most of the fans saw the opportunity to experience the universe their own way with new heroes, new dynamics, and as a family.
We've known the Knights as superheroes with their masks, but what was it like to kind of see them behind the mask as humans?
When we look at the way each knight was designed, we took a cue from our comic book roots. You know, we did some pretty classic shape language design. For example, Red Hood, blocky, square, tank-like. Batgirl is more symmetrical and balanced. Robin, lower, lighter, stealthy. And Nightwing, agile, angular, sharp. By having that kind of shape language, it not only helps us develop the way the characters look, but it also goes on to support how the characters move in animation.
The team put a lot of effort in making every character really special, with emotional ways to react to situations. Every character has its own path.
We worked with Wilson and the cinematics team to make sure that we could showcase their progression, not just in the things they say, but also in what they do.
We wanted to create a custom experience for the player and for the viewer to kind of see that they're going to structurally have the same scene, but they're going to see that scene with their own flavor depending on who they play.
Clear out now. You'll regret it.
Having a very solid foundation with the performance of the actors was critical because we got that nice base level. Once we take that, we actually bring it with the animators to kind of fine-tune and really improve everything, bring those facial emotions, putting their take on it. And this is something that we really wanted to make sure that we got it right.
In the Belfry, we see the Knights as humans, as young people talking to each other, having a life, wearing more contemporary, normal clothes. And that's a big contrast to how they look as Knights.
Belfry Clock Tower is actually where the four of them establish their base of operations, which is essentially their version of the Batcave.
This place is quite remarkable. It's certainly brighter than the Batcave.
Alfred is literally the glue of the Batman family.
He is a confidant, someone they can rely on, and someone with whom grief is shared and understood.
I'll always be here when you need me, Master Richard. When any of you need me.
Previously, Alfred had to really manage Bruce by himself. Now fast forward to Gotham Knights, now he has 4 versions of Bruce that he has to manage.
He is steady and endlessly reliable, but he also will not put up with anyone's nonsense.
Alfred's fatherly. He's tough, he's caring, he's stoic. We took a pretty old school approach, iterating on sketches and sculpts until we found something that really resonated with us emotionally.
When you have the 4 heroes there together with Alfred, kind of figuring out the space, we've actually managed to pack in, I think, almost 40 cinematics in that little space. but each tell a very different story and a very different perspective of how they live together as a group.
Every time Bruce came home, I patched him up. Just as I now do for you.
It was important that our players would be able to relate to these characters on a very basic human level, and that's what we wanted to showcase with our Belfry moments. Not just in the cinematics that happen there, but also in the environment and the ambient conversations, even in the props you find through the Belfry. There has been so much love put by our entire team in this game, so much effort and dedication. I really hope it shines through and it provides an amazing experience.
I really hope fans and players appreciate the variety of looks they can have for their night. I hope they find one that resonates with them and it kind of becomes their favorite.
Pre-order now and get the
Alô, alô, esse último vídeo aí foi interessante do Alfred falando que o Alfred é pai paterno que ajuda eles nas coisas. Daí será que as cenas dentro da Batcaverna deles vai mudando durante o jogo? Quem se machuca ele cuida, daí cada hora tá um personagem sendo cuidado por ele ou falas diferentes de cada personagem que você jogou. Agora vamos entrar aqui para não ficar repetindo aqui. Pausei, agora vou entrar aqui no site para vocês verem. Na informação. Desentuado de um anti-herói intenso, contando tudo por causa de uma morte violenta por causa de ter sido assustado à força por dos inimigos mais perigosos do barco. Ele tem também dificuldade de controlar seu temperamento, mas às terá agir quando o amigo for incapacitado. Capuz Vermelho quer que o crime pegue pela estrutura ou corrupção de Gotham. Quer que o crime pague pela estrutura ou corrupção de Gotham. Isso treinou para atingir o auge da força humana, perfeccionando várias técnicas de combate em todos os tipos de armas, tanto tradicionais quanto alta tecnologia. Depois de auxiliar com a família do Batman, ele adotou o método de combate a crime não letais do Batman. Tim Drake, mais jovem da família, bem mais também é o mais inteligente mestre em raciocínio dedutivo. Tim acredita no sonho do Batman, passando pela convicção que Gotham City precisa realmente de um herói, não somente por causa da perda pessoal, mas Batman foi um mentor mais alto calibre, personagem tipo homem. Tim precisa se tornar, lutar simplesmente com seu bastão dobrável, mestre de artes de furtividade. Tim também possui experiências de jogos psicológicos e ciências compartilhadas, ambos falecidos cumprimento de qualquer missão. Pessoas podem se comparar com a Bárbara agora com temor de força, vontade e determinação. A Batgirl sempre foi uma das pessoas da ação, somente recuar, nunca essa opção ter um dos comissários de polícia mais conhecidos do Gotham City, como foi o pai teve um impacto enorme sobre Jim Gordon nessa vida de Gotham. Agora qualquer ter certeza não foi em vão, pois o confronto coloca a Bárbara em uma cadeira de rodas, se tornou o oráculo de poder especializado em informação e comunicação. Muito treino na habilitação, ela repurou presidente no combate guerra. Bárbara agora treina variedades de estilo luta histórica, com jiu-jitsu, arma principal tofu. Bárbara também mostra grandes habilidades quando trata Archer com um do computador, sistema de tecnologia para buscar informações. Vamos ver se eu li tudo. E agora o último. De durante o líder natural, otimista, mais carismático da família Batman, ele cresceu uma família circunstâncias herderos tosca, mas bastante amorosa. Isso para o laço pessoal do próximo dia, que eu acredito que para o type vale a pena haver algum real pelo qual leva esse algo sempre outras pessoas. Foi a primeira prestigiado do Batman antes de se tornar o herói por conta própria. Dick tornou acrobacias, a especialidade de derrubar inimigos com asas, bastões e esgrima. E aqui são os vídeos da Asa Noturna. Aqui é o vídeo da Batguerra que vocês viram. E o vídeo do Robin também. O capuz vermelho. Eu ia botar na Steam aqui, mas vou botar pela internet. Aqui está o preço do canal da Steam. Só não tem as especificações ainda. Agora que acho que eu consigo pôr na Steam. Do jeito não vai dar. Aqui, consegui. Consegui, mas não aparece. que eu vou finalizar, depois eu faço isso.